Right guys, what's up? Back again. Back on the Valiant Ute. So, first step before we start paint stripping some stuff is getting some parts removed from it. So, removed all the side rails and the old tonneau clips from the side of the car. As you can see, it's pretty haggard in there. So just getting all this pulled down, so then the quarter panels are all ready to start knocking back and paint stripping. So we've got our demineralized water to neutralize it. We've got our resto finished after blast to seal the bare metal to protect it and keep it sealed up while I'm doing all the metal work. And then I've been recommended this paint stripper. It's supposed to be pretty hardcore, so hopefully it can rip the paint off of this thing. So the paint on this is pretty gnarly, so I needed something a little bit more than a generic paint stripper. I needed something that's going to really rip into this, so hopefully the recommendation on this one does what they said it will do. So we'll see how that goes. But let's get stuck into stripping some more of this off, get the back end pulled apart, and then first port of call will be we'll get this roof stripped back to bare metal. So let's get stuck into it. Right, so pulling the tail lights out and getting the rear end pulled apart. Got one tail light out. The other tail light, some absolute rocket scientist has glued the thing in. I swear to God, whoever owned this at some stage just had the most amount of Sikaflex and seam sealer and whatever glue they could find, because I am digging out so much of this glue stuff out of this car. It's insane. Absolutely insane. Completely unnecessary and just ridiculous. This is one of the reasons why when you go to get your car restored, prices increase, because I had no idea that anyone would be stupid enough to Sikaflex in a tail light. So now I've got to spend time cutting this tail light bucket out and trying not to damage the tail light. Then I've also got to clean up all the glue out of that hole, and then clean up all the tail light bucket, and hopefully nothing breaks. So absolutely ridiculous. So we're going to leave this for now, and I'll get into that at a later stage while I'm doing other things. But for now, that's pretty much enough on pulling apart the rear end, because I've hit a bit of a hurdle here. So I'm going to start paint stripping the roof. I need to get that stripped back so then I can get stuck into the quarters. So while that stripper's working, I'll start trying to cut these tail lights out and remove all the rear end stuff. So, but yeah, let's get stuck into some paint stripper. Alright guys, so got most of the roof prepped. Just got a few little spots I've just got to hit with a bit of hand sandpaper. Got it all masked out so none of the paint stripper goes onto anything I don't want it to. So, and cleaning it out, found a few fun little hidden secrets in there, which is this one here, nice big rust patch right on the join there. And this is exactly why we're going this far. all of this paint is just flaking off. All the repairs have been done over bare metal, which is just how it was done back in the day, so nothing wrong there, just everything has changed with technology, and now everything gets done over epoxy primer. So your adhesion's a lot better, you don't have surface rust leaching into underneath the body filler, that kind of thing. So yeah, but the drip rail on the other side is not looking too happy. This was a little bit of excitement I've got to look forward to. So we need to get this all stripped down, and also have found a nice big crack along the factory lead. Well, I think there's lead in there, but till I get this all stripped back and work out what's actually in that spot, it should be lead. So till I get that stripped back, I'm not too sure what I'm in for. All I know is that definitely needs to be repaired, because that's right along the roof join, so we can't let that one go. So we'll dig all this out, get this back to bare metal, and see what we're in for with the roof. So let's get stuck into putting some of this Digger's paint stripper onto it. Alrighty, so I got the first coat of paint stripper on there. As you can see from the last video, it's working very, very fast, this stuff. So, and it's chopping it right down to bare metal pretty quickly. So I'm pretty highly impressed with this stuff. Like, I've only just finished putting it down. So usually paint strippers take a little while to start working, but this stuff has absolutely eaten into it. So there we go. I'll just do a little lift here. As you can see, we are right back at that one. So it's eating that stuff away like nothing. So usually I need to do this about 3 or 4 times to get to that stage that's at. So I'm pretty impressed with this Digger's industrial paint stripper. So I will be using that from now on. It's pretty cheap, not too bad, about 60 bucks a tin, and absolutely hooks in. So we'll leave this for a little bit. I'll do a couple more coats, and then I'll bring you guys back in once I've got this all stripped back. So bear with me. Right guys, so roof's all stripped back and ready to neutralise with the demineralised water. So we are stripped back. So 2 goes with the paint stripper, absolutely ripped it all back. It eats into the bog nicely but doesn't fully remove large patches of it. But all in all, pretty stoked with how easy that was. Got a nice little bucket of Valiant roof in there. So but yeah, get stuck in and get this roof all neutralised so I can unmask it and get the rest cleaned up. Then from there it'll be to 80 grit sand it all, put some metal prep on it, which I have up here in my trio of dips. So I have the Rusco for treating rust. I have the After Blast for sealing bare metal off when sealing it for a long period of time. And I've got the metal cleaner. So, well equipped to keep this all nice, clean and safe from surface rust as I move through the rest of the car. So let's get stuck in, try and get this roof all neutralised back down so I can clean the shed out, and then we'll get stuck into prepping it all for After Blast. Alright guys, so camera died, so I didn't get to video all the footage of getting this back into bare metal. So we're in bare metal now with this. So this is the first stage. It's all been stripped back into 80 grit, ready to start getting into all of these rust patches. So there's a few little spots along the roof, and there's a big seam rust point there. So fair bit of underlying rust that if this had have just been painted over with, it wouldn't have lasted long at all. And then on this side, got a little bit of shocking stuff going on there, and down in the lower quarter is pretty beat up, pretty hammered. But all in all, the roof is looking pretty good. We've got a little crease down here. As you can see, it sweeps through here. So, a little crease in there. Nothing that's really scary though. Just general stuff you'd find on these old things. So, but we're at a point now where we're ready to hit it with the Rusco. So, hit it with the Rusco, and then we're heading towards the After Blast, and that'll be sealed with that part. So I'm just going to focus on the roof and the quarter pillars. That way then they're all treated and sealed, sort of sitting there waiting. I do have to do the drip rails because they are looking pretty nasty in there. So whoever owned this previously must have been a house painter, because it's full of what I reckon was house paint. But it's pretty gunky in there and lots going on. A fair bit of rust up in here and stuff that I have to really clear out of it before I can even look into putting the Rusco over it, because at the moment it's still too much rust in there for me to put the Rusco over it and get it all out. So that's where we're at. So let's hook in, get some Rusco on this thing and let that sit for a little bit, and then we'll come back, clean that off, metal prep it, and then After Blast it. Right guys, so all the rust go is done, all the rust is treated. I do have to readdress the larger areas of rust, but the goal today is just to get everything sealed up so I don't have to worry about surface rust while I'm sorting out everything else. So next step will be to do the metal prep. That way then the afterblast will go on and it's a nice clean surface with no contaminants in it whatsoever. So let's get stuck in and do that. So, coming around, hopefully that's still tracking. Get stuck into doing the metal prep. Wax on, wax off, nearly fell off the milk crate. Very simple, just wipe it on, wipe it off again. Very, very simple. Make sure you're wearing gloves, obviously. This side. This is just straight from the bottle, no diluting, nothing like that. A lovely bit of metal look. It's nice and clean now. Just to show the metal's not that nice, but it'll get there. So that's it for that. Let that one dry off a little bit. So next is the afterblast. Right guys, so that's it. Afterblast is all done on the car. So metal is sealed. So no surface rust will get into that. I put my afterblast on with a brush. Now they say you can spray it, you can do all these other things. I've found brush is the best for me, just purely because every bottle of anything I've put it into to spray it, it's destroyed the spray bottle. You can put it through a spray gun, which is perfectly fine, but this area is not big enough to warrant spraying it and getting it all over everything. So, and all the mask up time and stuff, it's more put it through a spray gun if you've just had the car blasted. But for this one, just brush it on. It's nice and sealed now. As you can see, all the metal nice and treated now. Rust go, metal prepped, metal cleaned, and now we're looking like we're getting somewhere. So this pretty much right here is where the roof will stay while I address the major rust areas on that, and then when I get another full day I will start on one quarter, then jump to the next quarter, get those two stripped, and then we'll drop all the front panels off it and start stripping all the door jambs and everything. So shouldn't take too long really. Like if you were paying labour on this, it would absolutely hurt. But that's why we all tell you to go get your cars blasted and not hand chemical stripped. So, because the hours in doing this way is, you'd be up for a fortune. But this is a friend's car, so happy to do it. But yeah, that's it for this one, and we'll catch you on the next video, which will be probably more of this stripping action. So catch you on the next one. See ya.